What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to another Etheria restart video. Just wrapped up day 6. We're at level 39, one stabilizer away from hitting 40, which is a big milestone again. You unlock the Ethernet Rally, which is another PvE mode. You can get some cool stuff in there, including stamina, if you didn't know. But instead of spending that stabilizer, I'm just going to wait for the reset natural stamina, because once again, I'm predicting, a lot of us are predicting, because in beta, they had that buff event, which was very juicy, very good. Make sure you're prepping for it. Hopefully it happens. I think it will. But I have a lot of stabilizers still. We're just going to stockpile all of those for this weekend to go absolutely crazy. But tomorrow we also get Linglo, another big milestone event here on day 7. If you finish all your achievements, if you've done this every single day, which you should have. And then in the last thing, and that's what this overall video is going to be about, is in the event tab, there's an Animus Reconfigure, which if you started as well on day 1, only has 1 day left, right? More time than that. It's about 24 hours and 29 hours as of this recording. So if you guys watch this, you probably still have 24 hours at least. And if you guys have been starting a little bit later, you'll have extra time too. But I want to make this video now before this thing officially ends, because if you weren't aware, this thing goes away and I'm not sure when, if ever, it comes back. I don't think anyone knows except for the Etheria devs. And they haven't said, I haven't seen anywhere. But once again, yeah, you can see I've used some of these, and let's go ahead and just talk about that here. So thank you so much for tuning in. Overall video, I want to give you guys an update. Terramaton, hell, why I haven't made the video for that yet. What the big changes were in terms of why Shadow Sonya is terrible now, why Leon is terrible now. I really shouldn't say terrible, but in my heart, I was really excited to use both of those units, and I've kind of dropped them in favor for other characters. As you guys can see here, we have reset the Leanne. Where is she? We've reset the Leanne. We reset the Shadow Sonya that I started to invest to. And we've built some other units, which we will discuss right now. So thank you so much again. And let's go ahead and jump straight into it. First thing I want to discuss is what actually changed this morning, or I guess yesterday morning now by the time you watch this. There was a hotfix which actually changed the way Aurora works. And once again, to recap, Aurora is the third boss. Some of y'all might be dipping your toes into farming, but most of y'all aren't even looking at Aurora yet. It's more of an end game for the kind of PvP sets. There's some really cool sets in there that you're going to want to get. And one of the strongest characters that used to be used for there was Shadow Sonya. So if you were lucky enough to pull a Shadow Sonya, well, I say lucky, but a lot of people were disappointed. I always told players that don't worry, she's going to be good for the late game because we can always use the dot team to clear Aurora, which is extremely difficult. It needs a unique setup, and in my opinion, it's much more complicated than the likes of Terramaton and Doki Doki. Well, apparently the Etheria devs had a different idea in mind, and they didn't want dots to clear this boss. Now, if you guys notice on the Pride 1 rating, they actually updated it. So now in Aurora, she's T5, pretty much useless. I don't even know why they have her on T5. But for Terramaton, she is still good, so don't fret too much. It's just a little bit disappointing because Aurora, this was going to be a nice unit to have for there. So if you're watching, be careful on investing in Shadow Sonya at the moment. Additionally, there was some changes as well that aren't listed here between the beta and the live. So if you've ever watched some content creators, myself included, let's just speak for me. I used to say, I was going to use this, let's go and just open up the Aurora, or sorry, excuse me, the Terramaton tier list. I was going to use the free-to-play Leanne comp as well for the Terramaton. And in-game, let's go and pull it up real quick. I actually had to reset some stuff, but the old team was going to look like this, guys. Leanne, Gray, Freya, Marvel, and Valerian. You could also replace this Valerian with like a green Sonya. You see, some sustain in case the run goes a little RNG heavy. But this team is now not effective because in the live version of the game, they decided to give Terramaton a turn meter resistance buff. I think they deemed Marvel too strong, and to a lesser extent, Leanne too strong as well with her turn meter steal. Well, what used to happen with this team, guys, is very, very accessible team, is that the boss would, maybe take a turn. Maybe the arm would attack one time, but you would eventually kill it. And the boss after that, between Marvel and Leanne, would almost never even have a turn because of all the turn meter shenanigans. I think they found that too powerful, and so now the boss is much more resistant to any type of turn meter pushback. And for that reason, I think Leanne is no longer worth investing, and that's why we're making this video about who you should reset and why it's probably going to be Leanne. I decided to reset Gray as well. Nothing really changed with Gray, but now that this team is no longer viable, I decided to just go ahead and full invest in the Claw, so you guys can see right here. Additionally, D-Ting is going to be a huge unit. So make sure, check your pool if you haven't already. If you're lucky enough to get this SR, most of y'all should, but I did encounter some of my viewers did not have a D-Ting. So hopefully you guys have that. I think he's going to be one of the more important units heading forward after these changes between the Dots and Aurora, because he's still good in Aurora, and then the Termaton changes. We're going to use him there as well. Chloros is an additional unit that I'm going to try out for, or I am already trying out, but I would advise you not to build him just yet. He takes some heavy investment, but those of you that do like him, he's extremely strong in single target, like long form fights, like the Union boss. So I decided we're just going to build him, help the Union out as well, and then we're going to use D-Ting and the similar 3, just replace Gray for Kloss. But I'll make this Termaton Hell 4 guide as soon as we finish it. Just be aware it's a lot more lattice heavy, whereas this team up top was going to be so cheap, so easy to build, kind of like the Doki Doki one. But unfortunately, I think the Etheria devs found that to be too easy. They wanted to spike up the difficulty. So real quickly, let's go ahead and jump back into that event and talk shop about what this is all about. The Animus Reconfigure is like a 5 unit. I think it's more, I'm not sure if it's going to be a reoccurring event. In my mind, I think Etheria wants this to be kind of like a, 1 week to fix any issues or testing you did and kind of solve that. And for me, I invested in the Shadow Sonya because I jumped in and I was trying some dot teams and they were working, but then that hotfix hit that I talked about at the start of the video where they stopped all dots from working in the boss. Additionally, I think now that Termaton has that turn meter pushback, I don't think Leanne is worth it for most of y'all, myself included. So I would highly consider, unless you love Leanne, she's still okay, but now that you need to heavily invest in her, I think there's going to be better options that are worth your early lattices. You can always go back and build her later if you deem necessary, but for now, I think most y'all watching should reset the Leanne. So just keeping this in mind, guys, it's 7 days from when you first log in, and for a lot of y'all that have been following and watching since day 1, you only have about 24, 29 hours if you watch this right, like as soon as I upload it. But a lot of y'all are going to wait. So double check this. By Thursday morning, if you started day 1, this will be resetting, all right? I don't want you guys to miss out because there's some stuff we need to change possibly, or at least we can kind of double dip and optimize our units. All right, so with Leanne getting reset, guys, the main thing now is she was what we were going to use our Termaton carry for, and I was kind of talking about how I'm using Chloros. Chloros isn't really necessary here, and in fact, he's not even the top tier unit in this mode, but I decided to use him, one, because Leanne, the resources I was going to get back from Leanne, and you know what, I didn't even mention this. When you reset in the event, guys, you get all the XP back, including all of the, what do you call these things? These investigation records, as well as every single prowess material that you used, all of these imprints, those little imprint reasons, and then you also get the gold lattices back too. Now, speaking of, real fast, make sure before you reset the Leanne, you have the Animus Fate, the first part done, and all the way up to Expert Training 3, because there's one last mode here that says deploy Leanne to win in the hollow observation point 10 times. If you guys have completed this and you're ready in Animus Fate 2, don't worry, there's nothing left. You're safe to reset Leanne, and there's nothing else the game requires you to bring her into there, okay? So once again, complete Expert Training 3, complete this GP Outpost Challenge, and that's the last thing you'll need to do. So, why are we resetting Leanne? It's really just because she is still a great unit, but if we're going to have to spend as much lattices, like, guys, I'm talking, like, I only saw a few clears of people doing Hell 4 with Leanne, at least for the solo DPS. Where is she? Gotta find her real quick for y'all. Since now that she's reset, here she is. Now that she's, not as good in Termaton, or at least they reduced the turn meter pushback, we have to invest way more. So not only do we need the skill 3, now we need skill 2 to increase her damage. And then skill 1, I think I saw people just fully investing in that. I also saw some players, they had dupes in her. So I don't even know how much you need. So many resources now to make her worthwhile. And the thing that I liked about Leanne is that she was low investment. If we're gonna have to invest that much, we might as well just build other units, in my opinion, that are also good in other areas of the game. Leanne is still okay in PvP, but like I was saying with Chloros, Guild War monster, Union boss monster, just single target damage dealer, bar none, he's one of the best there, so I don't mind building him. Alternatively, for those of you that are lucky enough to have like Messiah, I opted not to build him just yet because 1, he's an Apex character, so he's going to be a lot more rare. But 2, the materials I got back from the Leanne go straight into the Chloros, so that's fine. Now, what I want to talk about real quick, guys, is D-Ting. If you go ahead and check your roster, you probably have heard about this guy, but I think now that there's a lot of changes to the game, this guy is going to be the unit that a lot of y'all, most y'all watching, should start investing into. He's a single target damage powerhouse. And ignore my gear here, guys. I promise in 1 day's time, we're going to optimize this entire set. He's going to make me speed clear the Termaton. But right now, I just had to slap some gear onto him. And after the resetting all my characters, I had to fix my entire account. So you also need to be careful when you reset all your characters. It's going to take some time to, you know, rebuild everything from scratch. So take that with a, you know, be prepared at least when you reset. But overall, it's not. We're not going to talk about like the detating guide. That'll be for a separate video. But I do want you guys to keep this character in mind, especially when you're resetting other units. So besides Leanne, who should we reset? It's really going to vary. And if you guys can stop by the live streams, that's pretty much been a lot of my time spent, is helping you guys decide how to move forward with your account, optimize your teams, and we really want to decide if we want to reset anyone or not. Additionally, I mentioned that I did reset the Gray here, who I was absolutely a big fan of. Where's my boy Gray at? Dang, he's really far down here, huh? I was really a big fan of Gray. I even had a lot of dupes for him, but now that my old Termaton team is dead, I don't think he's going to be very good there anymore. He's still good in Doki Doki, but if you were lucky enough to have a Kloss, I think Kloss is now the play to just build. And if you guys also are holding on your targeted summon, I think Kloss is now one of the most important units if you already have your Doki team carry, such as Romoka. But Kloss, I think, is just absolutely insane at the moment. And she is kind of like an upgraded version of Gray. But if you guys are already using Gray, don't worry, he's still, I think, better early game because of the free crit, because of the faster cycling of the defense 3, and because he's a sub DPS. So let's go ahead and recap, because I know I just gave you guys so much information. Some of y'all may not even be fully following because it was just a lot to talk about. Long story short, there were significant changes to both the Aurora boss and the Termaton boss. Doki Doki is still the same, so my previous Doki guide, guys, go ahead and follow that. It's still perfect. But for Termaton, I think the stocks like Leanne value is way down. Gray to a lesser extent, because this team I'm not going to be using anymore. So you may want to consider resetting units like the Leanne for sure. And instead, we're going to want to invest in other units. I think the pick, guys, if you look into your account, go ahead and look into units like Deting. And then for me, at least, Chloros. But you don't need this. We could actually run Deting. If you have Lily, guys, Deting and Lily is a match made in heaven. But of course, that's an Apex character. So some of y'all may not have it. But just go ahead and check your account. Deting Lily will be able to carry you guys through a lot of content. We can also do a solo Deting comp here and just add in a 4th support unit, typically a 2nd healer, something like Red Chiaki, and then we can kind of just tank down the boss with a solo Deting carry. But once again, guys, now that the Termaton is a lot harder for this free-to-play team up top, we're going to have to make some adjustments, and my suggestion is to reset at least Leanne and potentially other units into your account. Now, unfortunately, I can't just give some blanket recommendations. Like, for example, some of y'all may want to reset Marvel because of those turn meter reductions, but maybe some of y'all still want to keep him for PvP. For now, I'm still on the fence. I might keep him. I might reset. I'm not sure yet. My best suggestion, besides just all y'all should be resetting Leanne unless you love her, is to maybe, if you're able to stop my live stream, I can kind of help you when you give me a screenshot of what units you have available, okay? But just overall, I want you guys to make sure you're aware of the changes, because I don't think Etheria's done a great job of kind of listing. Pride, when they updated their entire tier list this morning, a lot of the old content creator guys are going to be completely useless, out of date, incorrect information, and you only have limited time left on this reset event. It's a little unfortunate. It's a lot to take in, but I want you guys to be taking all advantage. I want you guys to be at least, you know, on top of the ball, not get super blindsided, and make use of this reset if one of your old teams that you were following is no longer viable, okay? So once again, if you're able to, stop by the live stream. If you're not able to, then at least reset Leanne, start looking at units like Deting, and consider any other units you may want to reset before this ends. And last thing I'll leave y'all with is the first reset is free. The second one is 200, third one is 600, 4 and 5, I believe it's like 800, and so on. 200 increase each time. All right, guys, I don't want to drag this on too much longer, but keep an eye out for my Termaton guide, and if anyone needs any extra clarification, please try and stop by any of the streams, and I can answer you guys. I've been streaming every single day for like 10 hours, so I hope to see y'all there. Peace out, everybody.